विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ मंत्र नंबर 9। विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे। So we are seeing the result of this Jnani, what kind of a result of Jnanam, let us say. So what kind of a result a Jnani Purusha gets. We are seeing right now that thing. And we have discussed the first thing is avidya granthi is destroyed. Vidyate is destroyed. So the knot of ignorance is destroyed. Because avidya only leads to different types of bondages, and avidya is the one by which, the first thing is avidya is the one by which the consciousness is bound to the body. Due to avidya. Consciousness is free, right? It's free. It has no bondage. It is all pervading. And there is nothing other than that to which it can bind also. But still, due to avidya, this Atma is bound to the body, as though is bound to the body. And well, then all these notions also arises. And then the same Atma feels that, well, I am trapped in the body. I am trapped. All the time you have a feeling of a trapped, basically. And so, and there is a helplessness, etc. will be there. And he gets released also. Fortunately, he gets released. And so he enjoys also that freedom, independence he enjoys. In a deep sleep state, well, definitely, avidya is there. That is how when he wakes up, again he is bound to the body. Since the avidya knot is there, yeah, so it is. So otherwise he becomes free from the body forever. Once, the first time when he goes to sleep, and then, well, identification with the body is gone for good, then no problem. But that avidya granthi is there. So it always, it keeps the, that Atma bound to this body. And so then he will have a sense of being trapped in the body, etc. And whenever he gets free, he gets freedom from that, well, by losing the identification with the body. He becomes happy. He becomes free. He enjoys the freedom, independence. And and then so avidya granthi vidyate. The first phalam, very beautiful. And the second is kshiyante chidyante sarva samshaya. And all this samshaya, all the doubts are also gone pertaining to the self. All kinds of doubts. What is the source of knowledge and these and that, and what's the nature of self, etc. Everything gone. Then third thing is, of course, due to Shravanam, Mananam, etc. And then Viparita Bhavana also is not a doubt actually. It's a habit. It is just a habit. Swamiji, still I have a doubt. I get doubt. What? That I am body. That is not doubt. After getting clarity that Atma is Brahman, there is no Brahman other than Jiva. There is no Brahman other than Jagat. This is clear. That is Manana. There is no Brahman other than Jiva. There is no Brahman other than Atma. Atma is source of consciousness. There is one limitless consciousness, and that is me. That's all. This is clear. This is a Shravanam and Mananam. Gives this clarity. But then again mind goes back to the old patterns again and again and again and again. And it will go. For a long time it will go. Yeah. It will go for a long time. We have to be ready for that. And because it's a very, very old habit, and so it will take time to go. Anyway, and more the alertness, then less the error. Yeah. So, well, then definitely, so through Nididhyasanam, this also will go. And so, well, one gains an abidance in Brahman. So, tasmat te brahmani sthitaha, Bhagavan also says, in 5th chapter, tasmat brahmani sthitaha. Now they are well rooted in Brahman. So, even that viparya, etc., the viparita buddhi, the habitual error, etc., won't come. Anyway, so this Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam removes everything. So, chidyante sarva samshayaha. Kshiyante chasya karmani. Asya jnaninaha karmani kshiyante. Of this wise person, this enlightened person, wise person, all his karmas also go. And we were discussing 3 types of karmas and sanchita, etc. So, this Jivan Mukta is basically liberated from the doership. And so, sanchita karma is gone because all that was standing in his account of the Jiva means is falsified, because he says, I am not Jiva, I am not Ahankara, I am not basically Karta, Bhokta, etc. And so, well, all is falsified. And then, well, one he gains but certain other karmas in this life. Okay, sanchita is gone. Of the past it has gone. But what about this, of this Janma? Well, that also will not come to him, because he says, I am not doer. So karmas cannot come. If you say you are not doer, you are not connected to karma. So connection to the karma is snapped by understanding a reality that I am not a doer, I am not a enjoyer. And but what about, but he must be doing some, at least some doer must be there, right? And therefore the doer must, he must be doing some karmas as a doer. Even as a mithya doer also is there. Okay, then let us accept that this, this so-called doer will be seeing in prarabdha. So, as a still suppose you say that he is a doer, he is not. Reality, it is not doer. Mithya means it will all remain. Anyway, but let me not jump into this. So, this Jivan Mukta basically, as a mithya doer also, whatever he does, punya papa, etc., that also will go to the people around him. So, that is how they say, the punyas, etc., born of some teaching and all this, or doing some loka sangra, etc. All these things will go to the people around him who praise him, basically, who does some service to him, etc. But why you are saying him, her also? Okay, her. This is just by the way, because this is this kind of a thing. And it is not for sake of saying. And Vidushi, the Gargi, etc., they were enlightened people. There are others also in the Vedic literature. There are other women also who are well versed. I am sure even our Mandan Mishra's wife, my God, she must be. You can think, if you want to become a judge between two acharyas, between two stalwarts, you are a judge. Means what is your status? So Mandan Mishra's wife was judging. From that samvada between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya. So Mandan Mishra's wife was basically was a judge. So you can imagine. So it is not for the sake of saying, they were. And the way Gargi asked in Mundakopanisad, she was allowed to ask to Yajnavalkya twice. And she asked a beautiful question regarding Akshara Brahmana and Aksharam, etc. And some other questions also she asked. Other Brahmins asked only once. Gargi was allowed to ask 2 questions. And so that must be showing the stature of the Gargi. Anyway, the Maitreyi, you know very well. Maitreyi, the way she asked about to Yajnavalkya, why you are leaving us, etc. Beautiful. So these people are all, and of course, Janaka, Ashwapati, all, as a Grihastha, other also are there. Anyway, so these Jnanis basically do good karmas all the time. Naturally, king must be doing lot of activity. Sannyasi also are doing lot of activity, Jnani, sannyasis. But Jnani Grihasthas also do lot of activity. So much. Anyway, so what about that Punya karma? So well, then definitely whoever is serving to the Jnani will. So Agami karma also doesn't come to this person, Jnani, because he says, I am Brahman. Brahma eva na Brahmavit. Swamiji, he is a knower of Brahman. No, that's a wrong thing. Never say knower of Brahman. Because to take himself as a knower is an attribute. It's an attribute. That's how Manisha Panchakam says, Acharya says, he is a Brahman, not Brahmavit. From the standpoint of you and me, he is a Brahmavit. Yeah, not from his standpoint. Oh, I am a knower of Brahman. No, he doesn't say that. He says, I am Brahman. So, if you take yourself as a knower, the same way, you are a limited entity. It's like a knower of some English literature. I'm knowing now Brahman also. To take oneself as a knower is considering self with attribute. Knower also is an attribute. So he doesn't take himself. So Manisha Panchakam beautifully says, Brahma eva, na Brahmavit. He says, I am Brahman. I am not Brahmavit. That's a glory of this Jnani. Anyway, so this since he says I am Asangam Brahma, well, where is doership and where is connection to karma? And therefore Agami karmas also done, some good karmas in this life also cannot come to him. And therefore it goes to nearby places, whatever punya karma. So anyway, and papa karmas also, there is always somebody who is, all the people, all Jnanis were criticized. All. Not one, several people. And so will they say something against him, they criticize him, and so they will get papam, etc. So don't think that he done by this Jnani and has gone there. No. Since these people have done a wrong karma of criticizing, etc., they incur the papam. That's the way. Otherwise, the law of karma will falls apart. The karma done by someone, good karma done by someone, and punya goes to someone. No. But since the person is doing a service, etc., benevolent action for the Jnanis, etc., and therefore, Jnani is Ishvara basically. Jnani is Ishvara, and therefore by doing a service to Ishvara, well, definitely you are gaining punyam. Same way here also. So anyway, so this is how Agami karma also do not touch him. That third is prarabdha. And so he continues to have this body, because that's a Ishvara Srishti. So Ishvara's law is basically empirically real. So it will not just go away with the knowledge of its reality. Unlike the rope snake. The moment, well, basically you see the Satyam, the reality of the snake disappears. But when you see the sunrise, and when you see the reality of the sunrise doesn't go away. When you see the reality of the snake goes away. When you see the reality of sunrise doesn't go away. That's all. So there are two realities. One goes away, one does not go away. What does not go away is Ishvara Srishti. What is created by you goes away. What is created by Ishvara does not go away. That's all. And thank God it doesn't go also. Thank God. Otherwise we have to rub word Jivan Mukti from Vedanta. Jivan Mukti. While living, he is free. While living. So means he has to live. A wise person, a liberated person, enlightened person has to live. Has to live is he should have a body, mind, sense complex. If body also is a prarabdha karma and all karmas get destroyed, prarabdha karma also gets destroyed. So body also gets destroyed immediately. Moment he knows I am Brahman. Well, this is better in Sanskritam. Brahma, so aham brahmasmi, right? So by the time he says aham brahma, asmi is actually not required. Ishvara also knows that. So he says aham brahma and his body collapses. So there is Jivan Mukta. There is no Jivan Mukta. And therefore if Jivan Mukti is not there, then will not be any teacher also. There will not be moksha also, and therefore that is not possible. So Ishvara Sushti, which is empirically true, and so but then basically both are unreal. What is created by you, the snake also is unreal, and what is sunrise etc. also is unreal. But Ishvara Srushti, even though it is unreal, the experience of that unreal world created by Ishvara continues. That is called mithya. That is called mithya. The experience of whose experience continues. That is called mithya. Whose experience won't continue. That is pratibhasikam. That's a jiva srushti. And therefore, so there is a difference between a jiva srushti, rope snake, and Ishvara srushti, the sunrise, etc. So this sun is rising sun, etc. is Ishvara's creation. It follows order. So this is, even though it is mithya, it follows the laws, and therefore that it has an empiricality. And the prarabdha karma also belongs to this order of reality. Now, when this Jivan Mukta basically, understands that I am Satchidananda, only change occurs between two people. Like you are standing and other one is standing. You are enlightened and the other one is not enlightened. The difference is this. No external difference. Only difference is from whom, from one person, the ignorance has gone away. And the ignorance born notions that I am a doer, enjoyer, etc. has gone away. Just notion has gone away. So and therefore no change at all. The person earlier was ignorant and now no more ignorant. Since some ignorance has gone away, then my weight might have been reduced. No, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Okay. So notions also. Yeah, you become light. That's true. But in terms of your physical weight, etc., it will be same. Suddenly I become light. Therefore all notions are gone. But this is really a big thing, right? To enjoyership and doership, my God. It's a load. It's a big load. During waking state, your activity does not make you tired. Your notion that I am a doer makes you tired. Yeah. How can you say? There were enough jnanis till today where we were working more than us and still they were not feeling the load of the doership, and that's how they were able to continue so much of work. My God. You, me and me combined together also, and several other people combined together, they cannot do in our total life. That much work every jnani is doing in one life. Every jnani is doing so much of work. Starting from Acharya, everyone. I gave you example of Sureshwara Acharya ji. 12,000 verses. I tell you that Vartikam of Brihadaranyaka is not easy to understand. And such 12,000 verses, which one Vartikam, one shloka of that Vartikam, if we are not able to understand easily, such Vartikam is written. That is not one thing. Oh, he has written Dakshinamurti Vartikam, Dakshinamurti Stotra Vartikam and Taittiriya Vartikam. Several. And so many other things, Naishkarmya Siddhi and so what not. So much of work. Load. Because of load you get tired. This is a simple rule. And load is not load of activity. It's a load of doership. A doer is always have anxiety. That's a big load. Doer is all the time fraught with anxiety. Enjoyer is all the time fraught with anxiety, tension, stress, strain. That makes a person tired. That's how in morning itself, you have a good sleep, etc. You had a good sleep and you get up. And suppose something happens in the home. When within 1 hour, 2 hours, you feel so stressed and getting got attention, etc. Then you feel like sleeping again. So why? You have just got up at 7 o'clock. And you just sit down at one place and as if feeling totally exhausted. That exhaustion is not exhaustion of activity. It's exhaustion of stress. Anyway, this is just by the way. So this kartrutvam, so this much is a difference between them. From one person, this ignorance, in ignorance born notions centered on the self, called doer, enjoyer, etc. Even a knower also has gone. So, but then there is a doer with reference to action because they do a lot of activity. So we'll have to take into account the doer. So body continues to exist, mind remains, senses continue, whole sharira, the karyakarana sangata, etc. well continues to exist. And so, and this complex well basically was given due to prarabdha. And well, that jiva also has to continue because ultimately the prarabdha should be exhausted not by the body. Prarabdha should be exhausted by the person who has a body. Yeah, he has to undergo the experiences, and therefore the jiva should continue. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore, basically, the jiva, since the prarabdha is of the jiva, because he has done some karmas, jiva continues from one body to the other body. Body does not continue. And therefore the jiva has to undergo experiences. That's how this is the Ishvara's arrangement. That jiva has to continue for some time. Even though that jiva is an enlightened jiva, he knows that I am not ahankara, I am not jiva, I am not a karta, bhokta, etc. But that being a Ishvara Srushti, prarabdha is a Ishvara Srushti, Ishvara is a karmaphala data, he has given the body, mind, sense complex as a karmaphala to that person, to that jiva, and therefore the jiva also should continue for some time along with the body, mind, sense complex till the prarabdha gets exhausted. So this complex was given to the jiva to exhaust prarabdha, and it will continue to appear. Like even the sun. Exactly. Sunrise basically. I mean, it will continue. Even you have understood it is not, there is no real sunrise, but it will continue. Same with this jiva, along with the body, mind, sense complex, will continue till that prarabdha gets over. And it's thank God, otherwise, it's the person just goes away once he knows I am Brahman. And then that moment itself, the body gets dropped. Then there will not be Jivan Mukta, there will not be Guru, there will not be teaching, there will not be moksha. And so, that's they give you an example. Imagine that Descartes, he is sitting in a restaurant and having his morning breakfast in Paris. And then, and that waitress, asked that, sir, can I serve you more coffee? And Descartes says, no, I don't think so. And then, and as he said that, he died. He disappeared. Why? Because Descartes was thinking that I think, therefore I am. And he said, I don't think so. He told to the waitress, I don't think so. And therefore, if you don't think, you are not. And therefore, you are gone. But that does not happen. Okay? This is initially he was thinking like that. I think, therefore I am. Later he realized, I am, therefore I think. That's the thing. And therefore, anyway, so anyway, this is how it is. So this body, mind, sense complex will continue. As the knowledge arises, the person disappears. No. So physical body, because it's Ishvara Sushti, and you can give some more details why physical body is Ishvara Sushti, because that is how it behaves. It behaves in the manner it should. It is subject to old age, disease, and the death. Jiva does not want. Jiva does not want death of the body. Jiva does not want old age of the body. Jiva does not want a disease of the body. But still it comes on all these things. Therefore, that shows that it is someone else's creation, not my creation. And therefore, definitely it's a Sharira that has certain longevity, and within its span, certain experiences also has to be gone through. So, all this thing indicate it is not your Sushti. Your Sushti is under your control. You created a snake and you resolved it. You created a silver on the shell and you resolved it. That's your creation. Your creation you resolve. But this is not your. This is by. This is an exhaustion of the karma and etc. It's a law of karma that has given the body a type of body, parentage, this and disease and old age and death and span of life, etc., longevity, etc., everything. You have a resistance against that, but it won't work. It is someone else's creation. So when the exhaustion of karma takes place, the body will naturally fall, and that is the law actually. Sometime body can disappear even before the exhaustion of karma. Somebody may say that because of homicide or suicide, Swamiji, I feel his karma is not exhausted. We can't say. His karma might have exhausted them. But Swamiji, suppose a person has a life and he commits a suicide depending upon his free will. Yeah. So then he has to, don't think that he has exhausted all the karmas. He will have to exhaust karma by getting another body. Yeah. And then that body will not be human body. That body will not be human body. Yeah. Since there is the abuse of free will will not be given again. You will not be given a body with a free will. Yeah, because you have abused the free will by committing suicide. Yeah. So once you abuse, the giver will not give again. Simple rule. And therefore, they say if one commits a suicide, he gets a very, because that's another papa he has done. And that's how Shastra says, the person who commits suicide, definitely, he has exhausted karma. He will get another body in which even the papa karmas of committing suicide, etc., also will be experienced by the same jiva. And so, but let's talk about the law of karma by which, the exhaustion of karma takes place and the body will naturally fall. Then that is a law. That's a law. That's an order. That's an order. Cause-effect order. There are two things in the order. One is a cause-effect. Other is action-reaction. Also part of order. Action-reaction, part of order. You see some person is insulting you, and a reaction will arise even in a wise person. Please understand that. We feel he is totally like a stone. Nothing happens to him. Means good thing or bad thing. Since he knows everything is mithya, so good thing arises, he will not even smile also. And a bad thing also arises, he will not have any sorrow also. He is exactly like a stone. Then I don't want to be a stone. Okay? So he is having a compassion. All great emotions are there. Then why not this also? Action reaction. A human mind works in such a condition, works in this way, is order. When any person shows an anger, for a moment also in a wise person a little disturbance arises. He becomes upset. He sees somebody's death. He becomes upset. Don't think so. Yeah. Oh, Swamiji, he has become a little upset by hearing, somebody told me about one Swami. Swamiji, he became upset by hearing his friend has died in accident in India. So he became upset. Momentary. After 5-10 minutes he went and took the class and you won't find that his friend has expired. But immediate reaction, action reaction is an order. A human mind works in a certain fashion, depending upon a situation. So the response to the situation of a human, in a human being, is of one type. But the suffering will not be there in a jnani. Or he's doing an insult and then I will see him and this and that and nothing. Nothing. Even the mind is mithya. In mithya mind, such an emotion, negative emotion, so-called negative emotion, etc., or upset, etc., arises. He is not going to be upset by that ultimately. And keep it in the mind also. So that suffering, samsara will not be there. But cause, effect, action, reaction, all is order. A psychological order, whatever order, physical order will be there. That's how it is. Anyway, this is just... So, this is a law. The body continues by the law of karma. And they give an example of an arrow. Several examples they give. It's like an arrow that has been released. So, an arrow will definitely after release will cover a certain maximum distance. It will not stop traveling until it hits an object or momentum is lost, either way. So, but we don't have a control once over the momentum gathered and it released from the bow, after it released from the bow. So, until you release, you have a control. But once it is released, then you don't have control over the momentum, etc. And so, same way, by this example, we can understand this thing also, that this body, etc., also is an arrow. And it has come from the bow. And that bow, basically, is nothing but a law of karma. Bow is a law of karma. Arrow is the physical body, etc. And the Ishvara is the karma phala data, the antaryami, is wielding this bow. So he is keeping that. And this is what exactly described in the Prathama Anuvaka of a Rudram. Yate ishu shivatama shivam babhuvate dhanuhu shiva sharavya yatavat tayano rudra mudaya, etc. And there it has been described that Bhagavan, I'm doing a salutation to your dhanu and to your arrows also. Arrows means karmaphala, body. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So Ishvara is a karmaphala data. By piercing his arrows, in us, he makes us cry, right? In terms of karmaphala. That's how it is Rudra. Rodayati iti Rudra. There is another meaning also. Roditi iti Rudra also is there. But that I have forgotten. But that is there. Rodayati. One who cries also is Rudra. And one who makes cry also is Rudra. By shooting the arrows. Shooting the karmaphalas. Karmaphala makes us cry. Right? Varieties of the situations in our life makes us cry. Anyway, so very beautiful. So he is a wielder of the bow and he releases the arrow and that is body, etc. And the bow itself is a law of karma. So release slowly, right? Antaryami, Panchadashi Antaryami. So release slowly. Few of the karmas and few of the vasanas, etc. are released. And he then gets a body and the varieties of experience in the body, etc. And it will continue. The momentum is there of the arrow. Until it hits an object or the momentum is lost. Prarabdha is lost. Till then the arrow continues. And when the arrow goes in the process, that arrow will come to know that, means basically that ego also is there, body is there. Means the ego will come to know that I am Brahman. It doesn't mean that now this enlightened ego stops. It will continue. The enlightened ego continues, including his past memory. Everything will be there, as it is. Everything. Intact. I told you the only three things go away, or two things. The ignorance goes away, which was mithya in fact, and therefore in light of the knowledge, this ignorance has gone. What is mithya can go by knowledge. What is mithya can go by knowledge. So we are so light. We feel that this ignorance, Swamiji, it's a really concrete thing. It just doesn't go. It is a mithya thing. Don't worry. So it is a mithya. Just, that's how it's a darkness. As the light comes, this darkness doesn't stay. And so when the arrow is going with a certain momentum, due to law of karma, released by the wielder of the bow, wielder of the law of karma. And so in the process, suppose if he comes to know that I am Brahman, this ego, etc., ahankara is a mithya. Yeah, but then ahankara will continue. And it has to continue. Because prarabdha has given this. Right? In Drigdrishya Viveka, they have described about 3 types of tadatmyam. And this is karmajam tadatmyam. The identification of body is due to karma, prarabdha karma. So that ego continues. Vedanta cannot make you free from karmaja tadatmyam. Cannot make you free from this, the identification with the body in this way, in terms of prarabdha karma. So then ajnanajam tadatmyam, which is born of ignorance, that will go. So he will understand that I am not ego, I am Brahman, who sustains the ahankara. And ahankara will be there. Mithya thing will continue, as I told you. It will continue. It won't disappear. It is not a rope snake. It's a Ishvara Srushti. Prarabdha is Ishvara Srushti, and then definitely prarabdha to that jiva, that ego is there. Therefore, ego should continue. Body should continue. So long prarabdha is there. And therefore, mithya ahankara continues. It will continue. Once the prarabdha is over, then this definitely gets, it is falsified and it will go away. So because as the body, in other words, we say, the reflective medium is not there. Reflection also won't be there, like that. But anyway, those things we don't want to discuss that kind of a thing. But this is to be understood in this way. And therefore, this arrow, etc., is released once it is born in a given form. From conception onwards, this body, etc., is due to that, due to the prarabdha only. And this will keep on going as long as the moment of karma lasts, and which he has set at maybe 100 years, 50 years, we don't know. Some people die in India, in COVID, many youngsters also died. So that's how that. So generally they consider human body has a maximum distance of 100, and that arrow has a maximum distance of 120 years. With reference to our speed of light, they say like that. All our, life, etc., the years, etc., of our life is continued. They are calculated in terms of, the speed of light. So it's relative anyway. But a body of a celestial, of course, a devata, etc., also has a span of 100 years. But they're entirely different scale of time. And Brahmaji's time also is entirely different. Again, when Brahmaji goes to sleep, not Brahmaji dies. If Brahmaji goes to sleep itself, there will be a collapse of Jagat. That's called Avantar Pralaya. When Brahmaji lifespan is over, that's called Mahapralaya. When Brahmaji goes to sleep, there is a Pralaya, right? When we also, right, we have a whole life. In that we go every day to the sleep. So that is Avantar Laya. And when our lifespan is over, it's a Pralaya, okay? Or Mahalaya. Let's talk that way. Same way, Brahmaji also has the same thing. Every day he goes, every day, my God, right? And so, in the eighth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it has been described what's the one day of a Brahmaji. And therefore, it's a Chaturyuga, 1000 Chaturyuga plus 1000 Chaturyuga. 1000 Chaturyuga of a 12 hours day. 1000 Chaturyuga of a night, 12 hours. And one Chaturyuga is 43 lakhs, 20,000 years. Multiply 1000. That much is a day for a Brahma. Anyway, so if Brahmaji goes to sleep, there will be collapse of the whole Jagat. And so we cannot even imagine there. Brahmaji means it is Swami, but then Brahmaji goes to sleep somewhere in Brahmaloka and it is affecting us. Brahma means what? That Ishvara, that Antaryami, who is a Maya Savalam Brahma, consciousness identified with the entire Karana Prapancha Maya, will manifest into the subtle universe. So now he is a Hiranyagarbha, Brahma, and he himself is a creator, but he is a Abhinna Nimittopadana Karan, and therefore manifest in the form of Virat. So if he goes to sleep, the Virat goes to sleep, means Jagat goes to the sleep, okay? And therefore collapse of the whole Jagat. Because we feel Brahmaji means he is a Chaturmukha and sitting somewhere on a very beautiful golden throne, etc. No, it is not like that. So anyway, as per this, that's enough. In the process of traveling ultimately, one can understand that I am Brahman, then one does not disappear. Because still keep going. Everything you understand that it is not there. It is really not there. That keeps on going. That is mithya. That keeps on going. Whole Jagat is understood mithya. But still keeps going. The jiva is understood as a mithya. Keeps going. And for others it is really there. And for Jnani it is not there. It is simply an experience without any reality. It's an experience without any reality, like sunrise. This way it continues. And therefore, Jiva and Jagat both continue. But how long? Till the prarabdha of the Jiva, that ego. Now he is enlightened, but it will continue. So knowing I am Brahman well does not make the physical body disappear. Only the notion only I am doer, enjoyer, etc. disappears. And what is there naturally as a part of Ishwar Srishti will not go. So I am basically a doer, enjoyer, etc. born of ignorance, avidya upadhi of the jiva, it goes. And therefore still now that jiva well definitely is mithya, it continues because of the prarabdha. So therefore, for seeing there should be some seer, for hearing there should be some hearer, for tasting something there should be a taster, right? You say the seeing takes place, but now there is no seer at all. For hearing takes place, there is no hearer at all. Then hearing will not take place. Hearing requires all the three, right? Hearing requires all the three. A hearer is required, object of hearing also is required, and the process called hearing also is required. Otherwise, if Triputi is not there, where no hearing takes place, no seeing takes place, but it all takes place. As a part of prarabdha, it will be there. So body, mind, sense, kamala, everything is there. Therefore, all these functions also will be there. It's a live body. It will be there. And therefore, seer, hearer should be there. And so this subject-object situation will continue. The Jnani knows that I am subject and object both. But so far the body, mind, sense complex is there, subject-object division. This kind of subject-object division, mithya division, will continue. It is not opposed to Brahman, because Brahman is actually both. And he knows that I am Brahman, and therefore subject and object is both. I am everything, basically. So from this, this subject-object division, when it becomes mithya, then only you get joy. That is how it is. When subject-object division does not remain, means Dvaitam will not remain. Yeah, I am just trying to connect everything. Then only there is a joy. In a moment of happiness also, subject-object division is resolved temporarily. In a deep sleep state, subject-object division is resolved. And in understanding of a reality, that subject-object becomes mithya, and that also is resolved in terms of understanding. So, therefore, the one who knows that I am in a form of subject and object, there is no division between subject and object, there is no Dvaitam, etc. There is only one thing, that is Brahman. He is in the form of subject and object both. He is in the form of a Jiva and Jagat both. And therefore, he enjoys. Because he says, everything is me. And therefore, but everything is Ishvara. You told right now, Virat. Virat, yeah, that Virat Ishvara is he. He. Swamiji, but he is Jiva. No, he doesn't say I am Jiva. He doesn't say I am Shiva. Because Jivatvam, even that due to Prarabdha is there, it appears, but it's just an experience. Ahankara also is a matter of experience for him. It arises, it sets also. He says, I am a Sakshi. I am a witness of Ahankara. That's how, ultimately. So what remains, so from the standpoint of world, it is all Ishvara. And that is what Jnani gains Ishvara Prapti. Because he says, I am Brahman in the form of both. No, but everything is Ishvara ultimately. Therefore, he says everything is Ishvara, means then I have gained Ishvara. Therefore, could you follow what I am saying? So basically, subject, object, both is ultimately Ishvara. Then since avidya has gone now, he says, I am everything. And therefore if everything is Ishvara, and he says I am everything, then he says I am Ishvara. So Ishvara Prapti, this phalam, jnana phalam, kshiyante chasya karmani, ultimately gives this Ishvara darshanam or moksha. So this is the final phalam. Okay, jnana phalam, kshiyante chasya karmani. It's entirely a different type of an experience where you don't have any division at all with anything in your understanding. Perceptual subject-object division continues. In your understanding, there is no division. Perceptual subject-object division continues. Mithya division continues. Otherwise, there is no division in this. So that's how they become Samadarshi also. Nirdosham is Samam Brahma, etc. That Brahman. They realize Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshine. They see the self, not Brahman as everywhere. They see the self as everywhere. Ishvara says, I am everything. He also says, I am everything. So he gained Ishvara. So this is how it is. So avidya was the one which was creating a distance between himself and Ishvara. Has gone. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.